What up, my wrestling peeps? It's your boy E here from the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, presented to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today. We're going to be covering a little bit of AEW review, a little bit of Thursday Night Wrestling, including Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor. And we also have a little Matt Riddle news and, yeah, just all the above. So just get ready for a top tier wrestling show. First and foremost, I want to remind you guys that we get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you to use the tips and donations link at the GSMC podcast.net with your questions. Just put your questions right on top so I can see it. We can have a nice little back and forth conversation. And I don't know, really helps the show. Leave a positive feedback, positive review. We love peace, love, and positivity. Again, the link is the GSMC podcast.net. So let's go ahead and get on into it. All right. So, first and foremost, we have an AEW Dynamite review. The show, all in all, I thought was pretty good, although I did do some research about, on the ratings and stuff like that, and it actually didn't do quite well as, as they expect, but I thought it was a good show. As a wrestling fan, I really liked it. So it kicked off with Will Ospreay fighting Shibata. This was a nice back and forth match. The match took a pretty long time. That just shows that both these wrestlers are very, very talented. They both have skills they want to showcase to the public, just in case they are in hunt for like contracts and stuff like that. But I don't know. It was very compelling. Like Shibata himself. Like I know the main match was kind of circled around Will Ospreay because Ospreay has a match with Brian Danielson in at AEW Dynasty. But I don't know, Shibata he hung in there. It was a pretty good back and forth match. No one was really able to get the upper hand. So I don't know. I think I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a bright future for both of the competitors, to be honest. Like I know this match was kind of just to showcase how Will Ospreay and Brian Danielson's gonna have a really, really good match. I keep saying that. I want to keep calling him Daniel Bryan. I'm sorry. That's the WWE in me, ladies and gentlemen. But I just think that both of these competitors really showed what they had, and both of them have some pretty bright futures coming up in the near, in their wrestling careers. But overall, Ospreay picked up the victory, which we all expected. Next, we want to talk about the tag team tournament first round, where the Young Bucks, as I predicted, defeated Private Party, and it was a tag team match. That's all I can really say. The Young Bucks were expected to win. I know I expected them to win. It was just the fact that Private Party won 4 years ago, and so then you kind of thought it was going to be more of a like a shocking finish, kind of like I don't know, kind of you want to be shocked as a wrestling fan, but that just goes to show that your match 4 years ago was obviously a fluke because the Young Bucks kind of took care of business here, kind of stating their claim as one of the huge, the head of the tag team division here in AEW. But with with the EVP they have going on with the new, AEW Continental Champion, Okada. I can see the Young Bucks winning the AEW World Tag Titles just to kind of build that no, I don't want to say community, just to kind of build that that faction. Because right now they are EVPs. Right now they are taking care of AEW. They recently let go of Hangman Alan Page and my man. But what can you say? This is what wrestling is. This is storylines and stuff like that. Kenny Omega, he's obviously been a generational talent for the longest time, and it was crazy to see. I saw an article, and this is kind of offset, but he called Kurt Angle the GOAT, and I can't help but to agree with him. I can't help but to agree with Kenny Omega. Because Kurt Angle was an Olympic gold medalist. He was very good in the ring. He was very good protecting other wrestlers in terms of like maneuvers and other stuff like that. And he was also pretty good on the mic. He wasn't afraid to quote unquote like talk trash about himself. Like, you know what I mean? Like he didn't really have a stick up his butt. Like, wrestling is a cutthroat industry where these guys are like constantly fighting for attention. That's what they're fighting for, is for the fans, for WWE officials and higher ups to kind of see their talent and kind of use that as a way to get either like a bigger and a better contract, just something stable. You know what I mean? As a wrestler, life I can imagine could be pretty hard. Um, Next, they had a backstage promo between Hook and Chris Jericho, and it kind of went the way I thought it was gonna go, where Chris Jericho gave him a fist bump, and he's like, "Hey man, out there, you totally kicked my ass. I see, a bright future within you. Can I be your mentor?" And Hook kind of looked at him. He was like, "Yeah, you're Chris Jericho. But then again, at the end of the day, you're Chris Jericho." And Chris Jericho has had, a bad reputation of turning on his tag team partners, turning on his fellow comrades. And it's just, if you're Hook, I would have never did it. I would have never had Chris Jericho by your side, because now you kind of have to have your eyes peeked behind your head. Nobody wants to be that guy, especially at Chris Jericho's age, that gets beat up by the young guy. I know that he's portraying this character as if it's all cool and you earn my respect, but deep down inside, I can imagine it's just completely boiling him up right now. Absolutely boiling him up right now. Chris Jericho, he's pissed off. He's getting ready to strike. Lord only knows when it's going to happen. Hopefully, it doesn't happen at Dynasty, which will cost Hook the championship. Or maybe he'll challenge Hook for the championship at Dynasty, but, that's pretty dire, because the pay-per-view is next month. So that's going to be, good booking if they want to make that match happen. To be honest, right now, it kind of seems like that's one of the only options for the FTW championship in AEW. So that could be a good one. Next, I have a Willow of Nightingale defeats Anna Jay, Chris Statlander, and Sky Blue in a fatal four-way match to determine the number one contendership for the TBS Championship. Julia Hart was waiting on pins and needles, because let's just face it, like, every single chance she's gotten to beat up Willow, she has. Like, she's obviously afraid of her competition. She was hoping Sky Blue would probably get the job done, so she could, just lay down and like have an easy title defense in terms of like Julia Hart. But Willow, she was able to pull out the victory. It was very impressive. Out of all those individuals, I kind of thought that she was going to, from not like talent, well, talent based, of course. You know what I mean? These women are very, very talented. But just because it builds on that, it kind of builds on that tension that kind of the CEO has with Willow. That the last match the CEO was in, Willow pushed her off the top turnbuckle. She fell down onto the bottom and that's how her foot got broken. And still to this day, recently she said in an interview that she wasn't sure if Willow did that on purpose or not. That kind of just builds up the tension. Like, that kind of just like, I don't know. If I heard that from an opponent, especially like a coworker, be like, dude, that could make me mad. So, I don't know, a triple threat match and looming in the future would be pretty darn cool, despite the fact that Mercedes Moné hasn't really fought in the match and really hasn't earned a shot at the TBS Championship. But like I said, the pay-per-view is next month. Maybe they're going to do some bookings to the point where maybe they are going to have a nice little triple threat match. It would be entertaining as hell, to be honest. Anyways, so post-match, Julia Hart came out and attacked Willow, and she had to stare down with the CEO, Mercedes Moné, and basically foreshadowing how in the future there's probably going to be a match between Julia Hart and Mercedes. And I hope that doesn't really tell much of like, what's going to happen on AEW Dynasty, because I'm kind of looking forward to that Willow match, because she puts on good matches. And I just hope that doesn't mean like, oh, since Mercedes Moné's here, now we don't have to give a crap about Willow, who's been busting her ass since day one. So they're like, okay, now we have a true championship match. Like, what I mean? Like, I don't, I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not what's happening. For me, and personally, I would honestly love to see a triple threat match. But, only time will tell. Like I said, the pay-per-view is next month. If I was part of the Tony Khan AEW creative clan, I would be writing something to like connect the dots and kind of connect these three amazing female superstars and I don't know, just kind of make this happen. Make it happen. Um, okay, moving on. So we also have the tag team tournament first round. The second match was Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta versus the Undisputed Kingdom. Just surprisingly, I thought the Undisputed Kingdom was going to win, just because you had the Ring of Honor tag team champions kind of representing your clan, and the fact that they didn't win, I was like, wow, that's crazy. You have these guys that have had so much momentum, and they teamed in Ring of Honor before, but I don't know if they're able to defeat the Ring of Honor tag team champions to further themselves in this AEW World Tag Team Title tournament. I think if you're in Ring of Honor, and if these guys don't make it to the finals, meaning Cassidy and Beretta, you should have them fight at Supercard or something like that. That'd be super cool. Like Supercard's, next week in Philadelphia. It's kind of like they're, like around the same mesh as WrestleMania. But honestly, I think that would be super cool. I would love to see that. And I don't know, like tag team championships in any organization like WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, it's kind of hard to come by. So I don't know. Once we kind of have that partner, much like in life, like when you're getting married with somebody, you want to make sure you have someone you trust. You want to make sure you have someone who will always have your back. And I'm not turning this into like a marriage lesson by all means. You marry who you want to marry. Like, you know what I mean? If it's I don't know what type of people you're into, but let's just move on. Let's just move on. But anyways, this isn't a marriage counseling course. Although I think I'd be pretty good at it, to be honest. But, hey, what do you have to say? Oh, really? Oh, dude, she totally thinks you're a jerk, dude. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, like a tag team, you have to have trust with your partner, and I feel like these two individuals together, they're more than just two single stars. Like I was talking about with like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Finn Balor and Damian Priest winning tag team titles in their respective organizations. Like you kind of have these kind of guys coming together and winning something. So I think that's pretty cool. Um, so in that, lastly, I want to talk about the main event. You had Takashita and Swerve Strickland in a one-on-one match for the number one contendership for the AEW World Title. Samoa Joe was looking on, and he was very displeased to find out Swerve Strickland was able to pick up the victory and basically cement his name to the AEW Dynasty's main event. So that's gonna be pretty cool. That's gonna be pretty cool. Asking me who's gonna win, that would be hard. Because Samoa Joe, he's just in any organization he's ever been in, AEW, WWE, Impact, NXT, he's just oh my god, like you can't really bet against him. He's kind of like comparing him to NFL. He's kind of like that the Kansas City Chiefs, where you're like, oh, they're not doing so good this season like this season. Patrick Mahomes and his receivers, it looked like Kansas City Chiefs were kind of like dead in the water, and they weren't the same Super Bowl team they were a year ago. But they were able to pick it up. They were able to do what it took to win. And look who's back to back winners, the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think Samoa Joe is going to be fine. I think he'll probably end up beating Swerve Strickland. Although Swerve is he's on this destruction path where he just wants to beat up everything, beat up everyone, stand up for what's right, stand up for who's, representing AEW. But honestly, like I don't think he can really carry the company on his back. And I know that's bad. I'm not trying to talk crap on Swerve Strickland because I like him. He's pretty cool. He's entertaining as hell. He has chains around his neck and stuff like that. Like he looks like a beefed up version of like the Junkyard Dog. And I'm referencing the back in the WWE history, but I don't know. He's just I don't it's gonna be a really good match. It's gonna be a really good match. Him and Takeshita had a nice little 20-minute match. So, he has the endurance, he has the stamina, he has the agility, and he also has perseverance, all mixed up. That creates a title worthy match. Not a title worthy match, just in general. That creates kind of like just like a competitor that you can kind of, you know, I don't know, kind of build something off of, like a good match wise. But I don't know why I can't see him as AEW World Champion. maybe I'm a hater. Maybe I'm a hater. All your Swerve Strickland fans out there, write down in the tips and donations like how much you hate me. But I'm just kidding. Peace, love, and positivity, baby. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a good match, nevertheless. So, yeah. Um, anyways, looking toward the future, we have our Thursday night wrestling preview. Of course, that includes AEW recently did that. That includes Impact Wrestling along with Ring of Honor. So, hey, what can I say? But you're welcome. I'm just kidding. No, that was a rock reference. It's pretty badass. I love Moana. To me, I have two daughters. I'm a huge Disney nerd. But you know what? I'm babbling on like an idiot. Let's just go on our first break.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, all right, all right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We recently touched on a little AEW review, which was pretty nice. Like I said, if you're not a Swerve Strickland fan, I think you'll be quite pleased with me. But moving forward, we have our Thursday night wrestling preview. Thursday night wrestling is kind of like growing to be kind of like one of my favorite nights of wrestling because, of course, you have all the other nights that are completely booked. It's crazy. Monday night, you have Raw. Tuesday night, NXT. Wednesday night, Dynamite. Thursday night's kind of like that open, no AEW, no WWE. That kind of fills in, kind of like the independent circuit, kind of like the lower level. Not see, but then again, I'm not trying to say that Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor wrestlers are lower level, but I'm just saying like it's not as televised or commercialized as those other brands. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. And then Friday is absolutely just dedicated to SmackDown. I know sometimes you have Rampage and sometimes you have Collision on Saturday night, but I don't know. WWE's king, bro. No, I'm just kidding. But moving on, so we're gonna review some total non-stop action Impact Wrestling. So we have a Road to Rebellion that begins. Like I said before, you have Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, trying to fight, and he's trying to take over the Impact Wrestling by defeating the champion Moose. But he just he looks outmatched. He looks totally outmatched. Moose just he looks like a moose. What sounds do mooses make? I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, try stay on point. But it's kind of like an underdog David versus Goliath kind of story. But Dolph Ziggler has the skills. He definitely has the athleticism and he has the arsenal to like aerial attacks from the top rope. Usually when you have a match between a wrestling organization, a main event where you kind of match up speed against strength, speed usually prevails because strength is, you have like if any of you guys are, they watch boxing, you kind of, sometimes like the bigger, bulkier guy, he'll get tired faster and his stamina and endurance isn't as good as the speedy guy. And he'll tire out. He'll tire out, which will cause him to like get a little groggy, starts leaning on the ropes a little more, just kind of, showing signs of fatigue. And I feel like if that's what Nick Nemeth can do to Moose, That's a pretty good strategy. That's what you should go with. Anyways, moving on. So like I said before, the Road to Rebellion begins. We have Steve Macklin versus Nick Saban. Macklin was the main reason why Nick Saban lost last week. So they're gonna kind of like hash it out. You had Santino Marella come out to make the match because obviously there's animosity between the two, and whenever animosity is like that, is just so like live and thriven inside the industry. Like you would just want to see something happen. You just want to see something, like pop off. And I feel like this match is going to be really, really good. I can't wait to watch highlights as soon as well, I don't know if they're done right now, but probably like later on tonight. And there is a match that I think WWE should really kind of adapt to. There's this match that I recently found out today. It's a pretty good match. It's called an 8-4-1 match. I never knew what that was. But so essentially, you have 8 competitors, and then you have 4-on-4. It's like a team. At first you're a team. In this case, you had the women's. It was an 8-4-1 women's match. You had Haven, Masha, Slamovich. You had Alicia Edwards and Jade Threat against Danny Luna, Xia Brookside, Ash by Elegance, and Rosemary. So essentially, this is how the match goes. You have 4-on-4. You guys fight each other, and the winner, whatever 4 group wins, then the other team goes away, and then you have a fatal 4-way match. And then the fatal 4-way match goes on, and then you have that number 1 after that. That's the victor. They usually use this for like number 1 contendership matches and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, you have it's high stakes. High stakes. So much is on the line. At first, you're really helping your tag team partner to establish a win, so you guys can have that fatal 4-way match and a chance to at the championship. But once when you win, it's kind of like all hands off, man. No friends, no friends, no new friends, no. But like you can't trust anybody. DTA, baby, don't trust it. Austin 316. Uh, it's a kick-ass match. It's a pretty kick-ass format for a match, and honestly, I would like to see WWE do, but they're never gonna do it. So why am I building myself up? It's kind of like someone telling me Santa Claus isn't real. Is he real? No, I'm just kidding. But it's just like I think this is something that they should really adapt to. I think that'd be dope. That'd be cool as hell. Um. Anyways, so we have a future match that's set up for the tag team titles. You have well, not for the tag team titles. I don't think so. You have Speedball Mountain against Myers, and yeah, no, I don't know why I confuse them with the Ring of Honor tag team champions. But you have Myers and Eddie Edwards, and Myers holding the TNA championships, tag team championships. But I don't know, Speedball Mountain looking pretty darn good. I like Speedball Mountain. They're one of the first tag team wrestling that I saw in Impact, and I was like, okay. As a WWE main fan, and I'm not trying to like be on my high horse or anything like that, but like you kind of look at these not WWE wrestling promotions, and you're like, can they really produce like good matches? Are their superstars as athletic, as enthusiastic, or charismatic as WWE superstars? And I'm here to tell you that they're not. I'm just kidding. No, they are. They really are. They're good to watch. It's good. If you're a fan of wrestling, put on TNA or Ring of Honor on a Thursday night, and you'll be happy. But anyways, so you had Eddie Edwards versus Mike Bailey tonight. It's kind of like whenever you have a pay-per-view coming up and you have two tag team contenders going at it, like for the longest time I remember seeing you had Edge and Christian against the Hardy Boys. You would have Matt versus Edge in a singles match, or Christian versus Jeff, and kind of building more momentum to see these guys just beat the heck out of each other for the main card for a pay-per-view. And like you have Rebellion coming up, so honestly this is a pretty well-placed match. But anyways, so you have Rick Swan, he's supposed to make an appearance. I remember Rick Swan from WWE NXT. He was on the main roster. I think he was on Raw for a pretty long time. He was like the all night long, and I don't know. It was just pretty cool to watch. I thought he was a really good wrestler. He was part of 205 Live. He's obviously a cruiserweight, but I don't know. He can hang with the heavy ones, man. He can be that dog. He's got the juice. He's got the juice. But he's going to regret turning his back on Joe Hendry, because I don't know. I just see him kind of getting his butt kicked in this kind of situation. Which kind of, if any of you Rick Swan fans out there, I apologize. So Swan betrayed Hendry in the match against AJ Francis, and now AJ Francis and Rick Swan kind of have that like, we hate the same dude. Let's mix together. Let's be friends. What is the old saying? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, or something like that. The enemy. Mm, and no, I don't have a lot of enemies, so I don't really know that saying. But I just know I like read that from a book. I'd hear it on TV shows and movies all the time and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyways, moving on. We have Ring of Honor. Time is just flying by, man. Ring of Honor, 8 days away from Supercard, which is right there next to WrestleMania. I think it's pretty smart what the promotion's doing, or the organization Ring of Honor for that fact, is to kind of have that, that, because they're going to be in Philadelphia. They're going to be in Philadelphia right around the same time as WrestleMania. I remember when Ring of Honor. No, wait, no, it wasn't Ring of Honor. It was another wrestling brand. Something Titan. No, not Titans. Anyways, I went to a Monday Night Raw event with my wife to go see WWE, and we went to the Staples Center. Well, now it's the Crypto.com Arena. But I remember we got handed little cards to be like, hey, right down the street tomorrow, there's going to be another wrestling thing. And I remember seeing like wrestlers that I, remember back in the day, I think it was, I saw Bully Ray, I saw Jack Swagger, and I was like, oh my God, like, it's crazy when you open your mind to these different wrestling clans, and like kind of like just keep your narrow-headedness away from like WWE, because when like these stars disappear from WWE, you're like, man, these guys probably got fired and they're probably working a 9 to 5 job right now. They're probably working at like an Albertsons down the street or something. Like, who knows? Maybe they're taking my order at Carl's Jr. You don't know, but no. But in reality, you have these independent circuits where they have something to move on to and to showcase their skills, which is really cool. I don't know. Whenever you branch away from WWE, I hope the best for ye. But anyways, so like I said, Supercards kind of in the future. World ROH World Champion Eddie Kingston he's on a mission. Ever since he lost to Okada for the Continental Championship at AEW, Big Business, he just hasn't been the same. He looks like, I don't know. Well, he was holding those like so many titles for the longest time. Like, he was hot stuff, man. Like, he was good. Eddie Kingston has the juice. He has the juice, man. And now he has to defend his championship against Mark Briscoe, who looks like a dog, man. This guy looks like a beast. He looks like he's ready to put on a beating, man. Like, if you walked across him in a dark alley, you're like, man, I'm crossing the street. No, but no, it's wrong to judge people, guys, based on the outside. Never judge a candy bar by its wrapper. Anyways, but it's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a pretty good match. He's a good athlete, Briscoe, and you have Kingston really pissed off that he lost his championship against Okada. But I don't know, this match at Supercard is gonna be pretty dope. So we have a face-to-face showdown between Athena and Hikaru Shida. Shida, of course, coming back. She was a former Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and if anybody could dethrone Athena's dominant, kind of role she's been on, I think it's her. I think it's Shida. Like, she has a chance, and Athena's just been so dominant. I miss her in WWE so much, but she's found so much success wrestling in other organizations. So I don't know. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be pretty cool to see what happens between these guys. Athena was actually in action tonight, but for me, what's kind of been hooking me when it comes to Ring of Honor has been the women's television championship, right? And it's been super cool to see this tournament unfold. You have the finals. You have you have oh my God, who's the two finalists, man? You have Queen Aminata and not Valkyrie. Valkyrie's the NXT. But anyways, it's gonna be pretty. Billy Starks. Oh my God, I can't believe Billy Starks. But that match is gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be you have once when you're in like a wrestling promotion and you have these tournaments, like kind of like how it was in the King of the Ring back in the 90s. Like the person who won the King of the Ring usually went on for like greener pastures. Like you had Stone Cold Steve Austin win King of the Ring. You had I believe you had Owen Hart win King of the Ring. You had Triple H. You also had King Booker. And all of them went on to have pretty successful, wrestling careers. So honestly, the winner of this match is probably going to hold on to the championship for quite a bit, quite a bit. Also, we have matches like Dalton Castle versus Nick Camarota, and we have Diamante against Kyrie Hogan, and the ROH, well, the Ring of Honor World Television Championship between Kyle Fletcher versus Blake Christian should be a pretty good match. I can't wait to see highlights. And just so much more. It's so crazy. There's so much more. Like, I feel like once when it comes to Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor, they kind of focus a lot more on the talent in the matches, so to speak. But I don't know, they could probably, they can cut some pretty good promos when they have to. So yeah. That's pretty much it for segment 2. I hope you all liked it. All right, next coming up we have don't go anywhere. We have segment 3 coming up. We have WWE brand new championship coming up. So of course, don't go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We recently touched on a little bit about AEW review. We talked about Thursday Night Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and Impact. Next, we're going to talk about the WWE unveils a new championship. Not just a new championship, but they unveil a new just show that's going to be happening on X. So it should be super excited to see. Honestly, I'm pretty excited to watch it. I'm not really live on Twitter. Well, now it's called X, but I don't know. It's gonna be pretty dope. So without further ado, let's go and let's just dive deeper on this thing right here. So recently, WWE has merged with Elon Musk's X to put on this show called WWE Speed. WWE Speed is exclusively on X. It will begin Wednesday, April 3rd. They have already begun taping matches in these WWE promotions like Raw and SmackDown. You have Angel Garza and Tyler Bates, Odyssey Jones versus Cedric Alexander, Jones again against Cameron Grimes, Alexander versus Axiom, Alexander versus Dragon Lee, Bronson Reed versus Nathan Frazier, and the matches are only supposed to last 3 minutes. So I don't know, with Bronson Reed kind of being in there, I'm like, okay, it's going to be crazy to see kind of like the bigger guy try to get the upper hand and stuff like that. But they have, it's as well as a match of speed as it is strength. And I think if you watch the promo with Corey Graves, it's actually it's pretty darn riveting. Like, it just pumps you up. Like, at first I kind of watched this and I was like, I kind of don't want to watch this. I don't, 3-minute matches, it's too short. That's too short, but it can, that just means there's going to be so much action just packed into one little battery kind of thing. Like good things come in small packages, like, you know what I mean? But, like I said, the matches are going to last 3 minutes. The time is your enemy, so you have to strike fast. You have to strategize even quicker. And like I said, WWE managed to have a streaming deal with X, so I think that's going to be pretty awesome. What I'm kind of looking forward to the most is that hopefully they kind of feature superstars that that kind of just get hidden under the radar a little bit, like like you have Tyler Bates or Pete Dunne when they're not fighting, or you have uh, Ron Truth Killings, you have The Miz also that's been kind of laying low lately. And you just have all these superstars that are just like kind of just like floating along there. And they're like, what could we do with these guys? What can we do with these guys? Create another championship. And that's something that I mentioned quite a bit on this podcast. But for me, I was like, okay, let's get the cruiserweight belt back or the light heavyweight. I'm not a huge hardcore belt kind of guy or the 24/7 championship kind of guy. But there just needed to be something different, just something like to get these guys included, especially if you're gonna have Reigns as long as like a year for Gunther and Roman Reigns. It's kind of not fair for all the other superstars. You know what I mean? And I know that's what kind of adds prestigious value to the belts. So when the belt does change hands or when a main event does happen, you get super excited because it's not like anything you've ever witnessed before. But honestly, I just think that I don't know. It's gonna be nice to see some people like for like JD McDonough from Judgment Day. Like, although I'm not a huge fan of him, but he's just out there on Raw getting just punked every night. And who knows? Maybe they'll bring back some of the old guys. Like it'd be kind of cool to see Aleister Black come back or Keith Lee. That'd be dope. Or John Moxley, but I don't know if they're gonna have John Moxley come out. But anyways, like I said, it's gonna be streaming on X. Honestly, who I think should win, and I know I'm probably on the same page as somebody listening, is I think Ricochet should win. I think Ricochet has been kind of dabbled along Monday Night Raw and SmackDown as long as he's like a walking highlight reel. You cannot like whenever this guy has a match, you cannot take your eyes off him because you're afraid of missing something extraordinary and something you've never seen before. Unlike anything because he's a high flyer. He's very athletic. He's very like charismatic. Like Ricochet, he's too small for the Intercontinental Championship. He's too small for the United States. But for speed, that's what this belt is made for. Like you have 3 minutes. If you can't beat the guy in 3 minutes, that's a good question. I wonder if you can't beat the guy in 3 minutes. Does that necessarily mean you're going to lose the championship, or when? I wonder. Ty probably goes to the winner. Or the champion when we have a champion. But before then, it probably just like you lose your chance and stuff like that. So who knows? It should be interesting to see. All right. So I'm pretty super excited about that. I think y'all should be pretty excited of that as well. What I kind of want to do is introduce a new segment, that we're gonna have on Thursdays. Let's just get it popping here. So we're going to have a buy, sell, and hold. So basically what this is going to be is I'm a WWE chairman from creative, and I'm going to be, it's a WWE rumors edition, well, wrestling rumors edition. So what I'm basically going to say is with these storylines, if I'm going to buy it, which means I like it, or if I'm going to sell it, like as if it's like, no, that's terrible, that's garbage, that's basura, or I'm going to hold on it. Meaning that I don't like it, I don't love it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't hate it, but I don't know, keep the, thing kind of flowing on there, kind of like floating around there. So let's go ahead and get this thing started.
Hold.
All right, so let's pop this thing up for you guys. Like I said, this is the first time of us doing this, so let's go ahead. Okay, so buy, sell, or hold. Is the CEO going to cost Willow Nightingale her TBS Championship? I think I'm gonna buy this. It'd be pretty cool to see like Sasha Banks kind of go into something here it'd be kind of cool to see like her go into this heel role. But I don't know, it'd be pretty cool. All right, we have our next one. We have John Moxley will be in the WWE Royal Rumble match next year. You know what? I'm going to I think I'm going to hold on this one. I'm going to definitely hold because I'm not sure that he's ready to come back to the WWE. He's having so much success, on New Japan Wrestling and AEW, and I don't know if he's ever stepped into Impact Wrestling yet, but I don't see him coming back to the AEW or coming back to the WWE as quick. All right. The Rock is more likely to turn on Roman Reigns than Seth is to turn on Cody. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and sell that one. Like I'm gonna sell it because of The Rock lately with Cody Rhodes. It's been pretty intense. I don't think he has any intentions of turning his back on his cousin, and he wants Cody to lose. He wants to hand that belt to Mama Rhodes. All right, next I'll buy, sell or hold. We have the Judgment Day. We have Damian Priest cashing in the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. I think I think he will. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and buy that one right there. I think that he's probably going to win, and he's probably going to cash it in night one, the tag team match, and night two you're gonna have a triple threat match between Priest, Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. That would be pretty cool, to be honest. That's what I would like to see. Next, so is Ridge Holland really injured, or is this part of the storyline? You know what? I think I'm going to hold on that one, being honest. He had so much emotion, and I think it's real. I definitely think his emotions were real. Like I said, it kind of reminded me of that Shawn Michaels "I lost my smile" kind of thing. But it'd be kind of interesting to see what they do with this kind of promo. Next, we have Becky Lynch will move on from WWE once her contract is up. Honestly, I'm going to sell this idea because I don't think that she's going to leave WWE. She has so much momentum. She's kind of like an icon for the WWE wrestlers. And her contract is up, I think, in like a couple of months, and she's willing to negotiate. But they better do all they can to produce like a monumental contract, kind of like Mercedes Moné did in AEW. So be interesting to see how much money they sign her for. All right, next topic, we have Bo Dallas will return as Uncle Howdy, kind of prolong his brother's legacy. As much as I would like to see it, I'm gonna go ahead and say sell. I don't think this idea is gonna really float, especially with Bray Wyatt passing away just recently. If he comes back as like kind of like the same way that Bray Wyatt was trying to approach the business, it'd be kind of like, okay, like it kind of seems like they're trying to replace him, so I never want to see that. Next we have CM Punk will fight at WrestleMania. I'm gonna sell. I don't think this idea is worth a damn. Like I said, right now he's probably 75%. If he gets back into the ring, he could very much hurt himself again and go back to 0%. But who knows? Let's see what wrestling let's see what they want to do. But I don't know. I just don't see it worth a damn to chance CM Punk getting hurt. So yeah, that was my edition of buy, sell, or hold. Hope you liked it. If not, leave into the tips and donations link. It's going to be gsmcnetwork.net. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and talk about Matt Riddle possibly making a comeback to the WWE and kind of things that happened behind the scenes that kind of, nip that idea in the bud, so to speak. So, hey, don't go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. All right, we're moving on here. Next, we have our topic about the original bro, Matt Riddle. So let's go ahead and knock off that buy sell the whole thing right there and go on to our next segment. But recently, Matt Riddle was asked if he would ever, make his way back to the WWE, and he said, like, he said he basically would. Like, I think he misses it a lot. I think like what happened behind the scenes kind of crippled that. So Matt Riddle, he addressed a possible return for the WWE. His actions behind the scene led to his release. With WWE and UFC now in alignment, his return to either companies is a little unsure, more now than ever, because basically based on his actions that he had. Um, I know, like, he's been kind of dabbling in Major League Wrestling and New Japan Wrestling. When he was asked by TMZ, he simply said, "Oh, maybe, I don't know. I'll say I love it." So I think Matt Riddle, he probably wants to make his way back to the WWE as soon as he figures out some of this stuff that's happening behind the scenes. He said once when he was with the WWE before his departure, he said he felt like he was constantly walking on eggshells. I know wherever I work, I don't want to feel like I'm constantly walking around eggshells. When you're at work and you just don't feel comfortable, and there's people who are just that just take life too seriously or always have drama and stuff like that. Like and especially with Matt Riddle's personality, from what I've seen him on screen, he just looks like a guy. He just looks like a bro that wants to have fun and wants to lighten up the mood once in a while. Like, but then you have those people who are too serious. Like, I'm professional. I wear a suit to work every day. Har, har, har. I'm just kidding. Now, if you wear a suit to work every day, that's awesome. I bet you look handsome as hell or beautiful as hell. But I'm not trying to start a fight here or stereotype anybody. But anyways, so like I said, he told TMZ that he would love it. He kind of was the oddball out of the WWE superstar, so to speak. Like, and they would like to pair him up with just like these bad boys, these guys that you would like be like, nah, I don't think this guy would team up with like a guy like Riddle. Like you had RK Bro, and Timothy Thatcher. You also had Pete Dunne. So honestly, I think Matt Riddle, he's pretty good with a lot of talent. He could definitely he's very versatile. He's very talented. I honestly love it his entrance with the sandals and stuff like that, where he jump up and he kick them off, and the butterflies would flap in the fox, like the green screen and stuff like that. So I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool to see that. So Riddle reported he was ill, which excused him from recent WWE absences when he got released. He claimed he was sexually assaulted by an officer there and at an airport, but he was heavily intoxicated. He also had the back stage incident with Goldberg, also the Candy Cartwright incident. Also, he attended rehab after multiple wellness violations. And he actually recently announced a pregnancy with his adult film star girlfriend, Misha Montana. So you kind of have all things pointed to the contrary. You have a bad boy. You have a guy who, dabbles in, a little bit of stuff. And he's also, dating like a porn star, which is, like, I'm not here to judge. Like, you know what I mean? But usually when you have stuff like that, it's kind of like a recipe for disaster. But, like, who am I to judge? You could be happy as hell. Who knows? Like, she's pregnant. That's cool. Congratulations. So it's been reported that UFC's Dana White hates Matt Riddle. Hates Matt Riddle. He hates his guts. That's what it said online. Yeah, I ain't lying. Look it up. Dana White hates Matt Riddle's guts. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding about, that story, but it's true. But I'm not trying to, like, I'm not trying to would instigate like anything that, I'm not trying to cause a fight between Dana White and Matt Riddle. Although if they're like, hey, this guy on this podcast from the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast got those two big stars to fight, I would feel a little starstruck, to be honest. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not here to stir some stuff up. So he said he wants to kind of move on to like an AEW, which I think he'd do pretty well in AEW, to be honest. Like, I can see him fighting for the TNT champ. Oh, him against Edge. That would be pretty cool. Edge's next competitor. Matt Riddle, the original bro. I think honestly that'd be a killer idea. That'd be worth that'd be worth a look. That'd be worth a look right there. Um, but I wish the best for the original bro. He was really cool to watch. He's athletic as hell. I remember watching that snake pit match where he fought Seth Rollins, and I don't know, it was very, very, very cool. All right, to end the show again, we're gonna do a little bit of we're gonna do a little segment called Hot Seat, Cool Bro or Cool Beans. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about these superstars, and if the burner under them is either hot, like basically they have to do something about it, or if it's cool, like as if they're in a good position where they can just just kind of do what they do without worrying about, I don't know, kind of like having I guess not having so much pressure. To be honest, I don't know if that makes
And
any sense.
now, it's time
Anyways,
for
so let's do this.
sizzling
So
or
we have
cool.
Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley. I think right now the burner on her under her
it's
is
cool,
pretty
man.
cool.
It's all cool, man.
Honestly, I think it's pretty cool right now. She's a hell of a talent right now. She's over with the fans, although she's part of the Judgment Day, and people don't like that stable. But I don't know. I think she does. I think she's cool. Also, once again, we have Tiffany Stratton.
It's
Tiffany
cool,
Stratton.
man. It's all cool,
I think she's cool right now. She's still kind of coming up toward the ranks. She's still kind of fighting, kind of like not main Carters, but she's like you saw her on SmackDown trying to instigate Bianca Belair and Naomi. So that should be interesting to see. Jade Cargill, like Cargyle. I know that she recently just joined the WWE,
It's sizzling.
but I'm gonna go ahead and say it's sizzling. It's hot right now. So when you come in and kind of make a statement like she made, you kind of have to, back that thing up. You kind of have to back your stuff up. So I think she has a lot of pressure on her to kind of prove here. Honestly, Valkyrie, I think it's pretty
It's
hot as well. Like she has the hot
sizzling.
burner on. Obviously, Stand and Deliver coming up. She has a pretty big match ahead of her to defend her championship, especially when she's injured, and she herself volunteered for that match. So I think right now she's in a burner right now. It's sizzling. And also Bailey, I think right
It's
now she's on the hot seat as
sizzling.
well. Um, you have this whole thing going on with Damage Control. You created this stable where you went around, you screwed up everybody else's chances of winning, and now you're kind of facing a world you created your own hell. Like, you know what I mean? So I think she has a lot of pressure on her to kind of do that. For Becky Lynch, um, honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think right now
It's
she's
cool,
she's
man.
cool.
It's all
She's pretty cool
cool,
right now. Like
man.
she's accomplished everything there is with the WWE, and right now her match against Rhea Ripley, although it'd be pretty cool if she won. If she didn't, it wouldn't be much of a surprise. It wouldn't be much of a Becky was supposed to win, but whatever. Bianca Belair, I'm going to
It's
say
cool,
cool as
man. It's
well.
all cool,
She's also
man.
had a lot of accolades, and Bianca Belair can always be propelled into that women's championship or women's world championship or even a tag team championship picture whenever she wants. So, I don't know, her athleticism, her speed, and her precision is pretty good. And like, Io Sky, honestly,
It's
it's sizzling, man.
sizzling.
She's on the hot seat. She has to prove that she's a worthy champion without people getting in her business and interfering. So Io Sky has a lot to prove in WrestleMania. So I you know I wonder what's gonna happen with damage control and stuff like that. So in that Roxanne Perez, I'm gonna go ahead and say she's on the hot seat as
It's
well. You have your
sizzling.
first stand and deliver match against Roxanne Perez, and if you're against Valkyrie, and if you're constantly saying that, oh, I deserve more and more. Why do I had my title taken away from me, this and that and the other. Like if we're gonna talk about all this stuff, like be a whiny, like B word, you kind of have to like I don't know, like if you're trying to have this pity approach and you want this pity party, I want people to feel bad for me. By all means, you can do that. You could definitely do that. But honestly, I wouldn't really take that approach because usually it's the people that that likes to rise above and be like, oh, you know what, the stocks are against me, but I'm gonna take it on. Kind of like Hulk, like WrestleMania, like, but like kind of like Oba. Obafemi did in NXT, where you had Briggs, you had Dijax, basically winning their respective matches, and instead of being like, "You two fight each other to see who fights me," he was like, "You know what? I'll take the both of you on triple threat match. I ain't worried about anything." And it might come back to vitamin, but who knows? It is Mania. It's Mania season right now, guys. So who knows what'll happen. But anyways, I hope you guys like my show. I swear to God, I will clean up those experimental skits. I hope you guys liked it. If you do, leave me a comment. If not, leave me a comment on the GSMCpodcast.net. Talk to me, man. Talk to me, bro. So once again, thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button, leave a positive review. We love peace, love, and positivity. It really does make a difference, guys. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, well, X, for more of their content and updates. Like I said, if you're not a huge wrestling savvy kind of person, if you want to, or if you are and you just want to dabble on something else, we have basketball, football, baseball, college sports. We have everything, man. We have a lot of, shows on this GSMC Sports network. So, I don't know, just kind of explore, maybe you'll like it. Definitely entertaining as heck. Absolutely. If you want to get lost in podcasts all day, either if you're sitting down, got nothing to do, got your headphones on, or if you're driving somewhere to school, you have a nice little 2-hour commute to work, always, have the GSMC Sports Network podcast in your back pocket. So once again, I want to thank you and have a phenomenal day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go.